let's get making some cash stuffing savings trackers. I'm going to show you how to do this in Canva. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and come along on this journey with us. Now, this is for personal use, so if you are thinking of selling them, please check out Canva's terms and conditions. The first thing you're going to do is go to create document, type in there doc and then doc landscape. That will bring up a landscape A4 document for you. What you're then going to do is hit the elements button and search rectangle. Now the rectangle you will have to make the size of 8x4, as this is a perfect tracker size to fit in your wallets. Once you have created your tracker, you're then going to duplicate it 3 times, as 3 does fit onto the A4 piece of paper. You should have in mind what it is that you want to create with your tracker, such as what I have done here. I am creating a holiday savers tracker. So in Elements, I went in and typed in holiday. It brought up loads of images. I have selected the free images. If you do select an image with the crown, that is for Canva Pro, which has a monthly subscription. So all I've done is I've selected my image and then I've resized it onto the template. So what I'm going to do now is duplicate it 3 times, as I want 3 images per row. I will do a further video on how to group them and space them, but that's what I've done here. Is I have grouped them and then I have duplicated them and then they've spaced out. I am now up to the writing part. So for this, I have went across to text and I have selected me text and I have wrote in there holiday saver. I then went up and changed the font of that. Then I duplicated that and changed that duplication to say £5. Then what I've done is I have ungrouped all the images. So what I've then done is duplicated one of the images, shrunk it down and put it next to the £5, so that way we know that that little icon is worth £5. I then move on to changing the colour of the background. I do love a gradient, so I have looked for a summery kind of holiday vibe for the colour. I have then selected that and that's pre-filled the back. So we are going to move on to the next savings tracker. The next savings tracker I'm going to do is an emergency fund, because it is important that everyone does have an emergency fund. Again, I went to Elements, typed in emergency. It's then brought up some images. I've made sure I've selected a free image, which is the little warning icon. Again, I'm duplicating it. I want to fit more on this time, so I've had to make them smaller. Then what I've done is once I've put them all on, I've grouped them all and then shrunk it down to fit inside the border. And then again, I'm going to duplicate it to do all the rows that I need to do for this. And just like I did with the holiday saver, what I'm going to do is I am going to duplicate the word holiday saver and I'm going to move that across and change the wording on there. As you will be able to see in a moment, once I do this, I do actually make a spelling mistake and Canva does let me know that I have spelled emergency wrong. So what I then do is I do then correct it with the correct spelling. Again, I do duplicate this and I move it down to say what the value of that icon is. Once I have done all these final steps, again, I go back up to the colour tab, which I will be doing in a moment here, up to the colour tab and selecting a gradient. What I would say is I do select a grey gradient, which means you can't always make out the border of where to cut. So I would advise avoiding the grey gradient, just to avoid any issues cutting your template out. I'm simply then going to move on to the last one, which I have decided to do a back to school tracker. So for this back to school tracker, I have decided on this cute little backpack. Again, I'm selecting how many I want for each row. I'm just going to then group them all together. I'm going to duplicate it, move the second row down, get the correct spacing, and then I'm just going to hit duplicate on all of it and it spaces them perfectly. Then what I'm going to do after this is I am creating the new little icon ready for the value to go next to it, so I know how much each of the values are worth. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to duplicate the £5 on the emergency fund and move that across, and again duplicate the emergency fund writing and move that across. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in back to school, but I am going to change the font. As you can select, there's a number of fonts that you can select, just make sure they don't have the little crown next to them. That is if you're using the free version of Canva. Like I say, this is my very first video of doing this, showing you how to do things on Canva, so I do apologize if it's not perfect, but I will do a further video on how to group and select and how to make sure everything is in line. As you can see here, I am just messing around with the colour of the background, but I am going to do further videos for you all. If you do have any questions at all, please pop them in the comments. Let us know what you think of my first video. As I say, I know it's not perfect, but hopefully I will get better, but I am looking forward to hear what you would like to see next on how to do in Canva for your budgeting journey. Would you like to see budgeting logs? Would you like to see budgeting sheets? Would you like to see more designs? Or would you like to see what else you can do in Canva?